Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Thank you for having me every week, Nelson. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Here is my thing.
Oh, quick thing?
Well, I
Oh,
want to
no.
get. I want to get into.
Brace yourselves, listeners.
I want to get into the show,
Okay.
but I think podcasts have a flow.
Yeah, okay.
You can't get into it too quickly.
No way.
So I have a hunger, Nelson,
Oh,
for something, but not a long thing.
okay.
Do you have something that is a thing, but it's not a long thing that you could add to the start of the show
Cambo.
pretty quickly, if possible?
Oh my God.
You can tell me.
You are in luck.
Why's that?
I've got a quick thing.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just a quick thing for you.
I know we've got the announcement bugle, but do we need like the hype horn, like a like an air horn or something?
Okay. Yeah, hype on. Yeah. Just something else that's really annoying. to
Yeah.
listen to.
So anytime that we want to big people up or like drum up some excitement,
Yeah.
we play the excitement horn.
Yeah,
and people know,
okay.
oh boy, I better put this seatbelt on and strap in
It's well, yeah.
because they're going to take me for a ride here.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, may as well do that.
Yeah.
That may as well be the intro to quick thing every time.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? The quick thing excitement horn.
Yeah. It's good. I like it.
Coming in the following weeks.
I would also like it maybe in future where I'll just surprise you by just pressing the quick thing excitement horn halfway through an episode. You'll be like, oh my God. I had no idea.
I like the idea of that.
Okay. But Cameron, here's my quick thing.
Great.
For today. Earlier this week, I was driving down the road and I passed what I would call medium to large sized shop on a pretty busy road, busy intersection. It was on the corner. Good real estate, I would say. It was a chocolate shop.
Go on.
I found that insane. Why is anyone buying a shop and making it a chocolate shop? Don't you think that's so weird in this day and age? Like, if we were still ferrying cocoa leaves across the Mediterranean Sea, that would be a time. That's peak chocolate shop era. But actually, we probably still do that, don't we?
I mean,
to some degree.
technically, it's just a less impressive thing.
Yeah.
Less people die on the journey.
Yeah. But I just thought that was so, like, there is no way I would invest $1 of my hard-earned cash in a shop that is just chocolate.
Is it
based.
artisanal chocolate at least? Because like up
Maybe.
in the Yarra Valley here in Victoria,
Yeah.
we've got the Yarra Valley Chocolatier, which is a big chocolate factory.
Yeah.
And they have like a bespoke chocolate
Yeah.
store. Was it like that?
Do you know what I would say is the exception to that? Is like they're in the middle of nowhere and it's just kind of a nice place.
It's
to
also
like
more
have
of a
picnic and
cafe,
stuff. And yeah, it's a cafe. It's
restaurant.
everything. They sort of like make a big hoo-ha about it. This I say is probably artisanal. But the thing is, we have Cadbury chocolate here. And I would say that is like the height of chocolate. Like there's not much wiggle room at the top, of like the chocolate tasting any better. It's pretty much like at the point, it's reached the ceiling. And I think that if like, the thing is that would be really expensive chocolate because I can't imagine the amount of rent they would be paying a year. It would be so expensive. Like, no, this shop is not going to last. I'm going to have a quick thing one day and it's going to be, hey, that chocolate shop closed down because nobody's buying this stupid chocolate.
So there's a couple of points.
Okay.
One, I'm going to need you to write down the address of that chocolate shop because I'm a man that has opinions about chocolate.
It's on Chapel Street.
Second, here's an opinion about chocolate.
Yeah.
Is that for some reason, at least here in Australia, Lindt and specifically Lindt balls are seen as like a fancy chocolate for presents, but they're worse than regular chocolate.
Way worse.
So just give me regular chocolate.
Exactly.
The third, I can top it for nicheness.
Yeah.
In fact, at the very end of our street, the joining street has a store on it.
Yeah.
Which is used car books.
Used car books?
Yes. So not brand new car books. They resell old car books. and like old car magazines and it's on like a main strip of road, which is maybe not as prime real estate as
not
Chapel
as prime
Street.
real estate, but still
You're paying rent.
you're paying more than $10 a week rent.
Quick update.
Yeah.
In the COVID-19 pandemic, it went out of business.
Oh, that's surprising.
To which I walked past and went, well, absolutely. I'm surprised in the year and a half to 2 years we were here before the pandemic that it remained in business.
Exactly. I would say even now, like we're sort of towards the other end of COVID, but even with the current traffic, I just don't think it's enough for a chocolate shop to survive. It seems
I
so
find it
insane
funny
to me.
when any store does just one thing.
Yeah.
I've seen like chess stores and they just sell chess sets.
Yeah.
Become a board game store.
Yeah, exactly.
Because once you buy a chess set, generally you don't need a second chess set.
Yeah. But you might be going for the chess set and then be like, oh my God, look at all these other board games. I'll have to come back later and buy them. They might have a different one later on that's not chess.
Yeah, the single use store like that sells one specific thing. It's a rarity in 2021.
Anyway, that turned into a sort of a medium-sized
That
thing,
was
didn't it?
I don't appreciate the length of it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Also, if we were to bring in the quick thing excitement horn, I am bit of me is saddened to have shortened the song that you came up with last week. But if it hypes everyone up, then I'm willing to accept it.
We'll make some sacrifices where we need to. All right, let's get into it. This first Reddit on Reddit was by the user Master-O-Matic, and it was in the subreddit Facepalm. And it was just titled, "The Wrong People Have Money." This is actually a Twitter post, and it was by Natalie B. Fitness. I don't know if that's relevant, but anyway, they wrote...
Is that saying is her middle initial Fitness, or does Natalie B. Fitness? Does she B Fitness?
No, I think her last name starts with B because it's Natalie.
Natalie B. Fitness. I like that.
If her last name was Fitness, that would be incredible.
No, I like the idea that she is Fitness. Look, Natalie, she's a personal trainer. She be Fitness.
She be Fitness. Oh, okay. She is Fitness.
Just like we be podcasts.
Yeah, okay. Why didn't we get that Twitter handle? Okay.
I reckon you could still get Nelson B. Podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be easy. Okay. She says, wait, so Kylie Jenner's makeup artist got into a car accident and needed $60,000 for emergency brain surgery, and she asked her fans to donate and then only donated $5,000 when she's a literal billionaire. The wrong people have money. Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about this. The only problem I have with breaking this down is that there must be more to this than a tweet. You know what I mean?
No, that's it. You can't be.
Though
speculate as much as you want.
So Kylie Jenner's makeup artist was in a car accident. And she needed $60,000.
Yep.
To get the brain surgery. And Kylie donated $5,000.
Yes. And so what she did was she started a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Asking for the $60,000, and she just donated $5,000 to that GoFundMe.
So Kylie started the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes. Yeah.
See, I thought what had happened is the woman in the accident or her family had started it, and Kylie was like, "Well, here's $5,000."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
No, I think. Oh, wait. Maybe now I've speculated, but I'm pretty sure.
This is the problem with the tweet. We're at a news article.
Does it matter?
Well, the thing is,
so either you donate $5,000 and don't let anybody, don't like tweet out to your fans, hey, donate to this.
Yeah.
Or you just do the whole $60,000 and you tell everybody how great you are.
Yeah.
But
even if you're just doing it for the accolades, do the $60,000 because largely, if I don't know, could it be tax deductible even? Like even if you're being that shrewd at business.
Yeah. This is what she should have done. paid $59,999 into the GoFundMe, and then tweeted out to everybody, "Oh, hey, we've almost reached our goal. Really appreciate donate." And then people go and be like, "Oh my God, she almost donated all of it. What a great person she is."
But no, you say that of the internet, but the internet would definitely be like, "Why didn't she donate the $1?
Yeah.
This is so weird."
Okay, what's worse? Only donating $5,000 or donating $1 less than what's required?
I would say, and it's hard to like because we've never had $1 billion, so like. Who knows what the mental mentality of...
I had a dream that I won 416 million. Even then, I didn't have $1 billion.
Not even close to $1 billion. That's the crazy thing. But like, I wonder if there's a mindset of, all right, I've now crossed the $1 billion. Mm-hmm. I need to do at all costs, save as much money as possible to never go below the $1 billion.
Yeah.
Not that I think 60,000 would necessarily have got her below the $1 billion.
Yeah.
But it is flipping things like that. Yeah. I wonder if you're like, I kind of can't spend any money anymore because then I won't have $1 billion.
I would quite literally accept that as a reason. If she tweeted, "Hey guys, I'm $1,050,000,000 in net worth. Can you guys please help me out and donate the rest of this cause? I really care.
$1,060,000. Yeah. I'm willing to part with the 60,000.
Yeah. But it is just such an insane concept. I could imagine, when you are extremely rich, you would get asked for money very frequently. Yeah, I would say, and to the extent where you probably literally couldn't say yes to everybody, even though probably the amount of money people are asking for is so minuscule. Like $60,000 of Kylie Jenner's net worth is just a drop in the pond. Like it's freaking nothing. But
this is a topic that Stacey really should have come on for because she is an expert in all things Kardashian.
Which is a shame. It's a real shame.
I mean, yeah, think of it what you will, whether or not it's a shame or whether or not it's a noble pursuit. I'm avoiding a fight.
You are avoiding a fight. Just quick side note, we went out on the weekend and Stacey was like, "I hated how you talk about me on the podcast sometimes." Anyway, Stacey's the worst. Continue.
But I believe she would know the ins and outs of this situation.
Yeah.
And I know that Kylie, I believe it's Kylie, made most of her fortune through a makeup company. And the question is this makeup artist also involved in that company? Did she maybe did she help develop these makeup lines?
Yeah.
And if so, if she is literally part of the reason that she's so successful, then there's even more of a reason
to do it. Okay. How about
if she was like a gigging makeup artist and occasionally she did her makeup. You know what I mean? So
I sort of want even
here's
then,
the problem.
right?
It's a tweet. We don't know these things. But I would understand more like maybe she has a bunch of makeup artists that work on her for different events or whatever. So this woman has done her makeup a few times. Yeah. So she was like, "Oh, well, it's terrible. I'll donate some money for her cause." But if she set up the GoFundMe for her, there's so many variables.
I don't know. I don't know that there is. Now I'm uncertain. You've made me question the whole thing.
Here's the thing, because you're quite anti-Kardashian. Stacey is quite pro-Kardashian. And I'm very neutral Kardashian. I don't necessarily actually have a problem with any of them, though I also just don't care about any of them.
Well, no, I would say that's exactly the position I have. I don't hate them.
I don't know, Nelson. You often call me in the middle of the night and go, "You won't believe what Kylie's doing."
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's it. Like, I would say that I'm neutral as well.
In this circumstance.
I'd say, yeah. I would say I don't ever give them a second thought throughout the day.
Right, yeah.
But I think that it's wrong that probably so many people idolize them for just being rich, basically. I
will say this, as someone that works in marketing, I completely see that they are like brilliant marketers.
Yeah.
Like, through and through, they will sell anything, like anything that happens to them that is embarrassing, they make money off.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a kind of a brilliance to that, whether or not you want to acknowledge it.
Well,
but like there's memes of...
That comes with having money already.
Absolutely.
Though. You know,
but
it's
like,
not like anybody could go out and
my
do
point
this.
is you can waste money or you can accumulate more money. And they were born into privilege. And, you know, people judged Kim by how she became famous because of the sex tape and stuff like that. But she took what was a pretty good amount of money and spun that into a lot more money. And I think that you can't, I don't think, discredit, like, that doesn't just happen. Think of all the people that have a lot of money and then waste that money or get a little bit more. The way that they've massively improved their net worth, I think is actually very good marketing.
You love the Kardashians.
I love the Kardashians.
Yeah. It's very clear.
But my point is because vapid, self-centered, image obsessed, all of those things are true.
Yeah.
But I think that you need to look at both sides because they're also very good marketers.
Yeah. I still don't think, I know we don't have a lot of information, but I would still think $60,000 being such a small amount.
Yeah, just
again,
pay it.
I seriously think it's one or the other. It's like you don't know this person well enough that you would not be obliged to donate anything and then not tweet about it at all, or you donate the entire amount. Yeah. I feel like there's no middle ground for that area.
The best possible option is to donate all of the money and don't tweet about it.
And don't tweet about it. Don't do that. But then she wouldn't make money off that. Yeah. She's probably getting a bit of that. Any dollar that goes over the 60,000K mark, she pockets from the GoFundMe. You've heard it here first. Okay, here's a hypothetical then. I wanted to get back to your point actually of like the distance in the relationship. So like maybe she's done the makeup a couple of times. Okay, let's go with she's best friend, right? You donate the 60,000, okay? And started this makeup company with this person, right? Definitely that's the case.
Well, if she started the makeup company with the person, that person would be also probably really rich.
Well, or even somebody high up-ish you would think is probably.
But my point was
money.
Perhaps if she's a makeup artist around Kylie, maybe she had input into the company in some way.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say she said, hey, you should make that lipstick a shade lighter. And that was her input. And that was
$60,000.
the most, highest selling lipstick. Yeah. Okay. You're paying for it then, aren't you? Such a great idea. Even though it was one sly comment, they just made you way more than $60,000.
So you're pitching some kind of system in which good idea equals some kind of insurance cover. So she says, make it a shade lighter. Yeah. And it does go on to so well. And then Kylie sees her again and goes, that was a good advice. You covered for one crash.
Yeah. One car crash.
And then maybe she says another bit of advice and goes, you know what? If a loved one passes away, I'll cover the funeral cost. Like she just is pitching these different things.
Oh my God. Is this the best incentive idea for a business ever?
Money would also be good. Because then if you have money, you could cover those things yourself.
Yeah, but it's like extra things. Oh, you know what? It shouldn't be monetary value things. Kylie Jenner's well connected. She could be like, hey, I'll introduce you to Kanye because of that great idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And also the money. I'll also pay your expenses because you do want the money as well. If I was offered $60,000 or to meet Kanye, you bet I'm taking the $60,000.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you're after money, I would think it would be easier to get it from Kylie than Kanye. Because Kanye famously once tweeted Mark Zuckerberg asking for $1 billion. And he's just become the richest African American in history.
Oh, really?
His net worth has passed.
Interesting.
I don't even know how much it is, but a couple of billion.
Right.
And he's still.
Michael Jackson be the person before that? I imagine. Maybe.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
He was quite a rich
man.
Right, quite a rich man. Okay, here's my other hypothetical that I've just thought of. You can get $60,000, or meet Kanye and get $61,000.
I'm still taking the 60.
Yeah, I'm getting the 60. No, thank you.
He just seems like a lot, doesn't he?
Okay, how much? 65?
Oh, 5,000.
Extra 5K.
Can I... how close do I have to get?
You have to shake his hand. and I have a
I
conversation
think you'd shake my hand
for at least 3 minutes.
I don't think
3
I'd set
minutes
him
of
off by
conversation.
shaking my hand. The problem is, he seems very, let's say, self-confident.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about his music. And the moment he asks me a question about his music, which I think is a very likely thing to have happened, and I have to either lie, which he will probably know, or say, I don't know anything about your music, that is when I will become afraid of Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So
true.
if we're in an environment in which he can't physically attack me in any way, or even verbally abuse me,
yeah.
I'm happy and I'll take the 5.
Yeah.
Would I get beat up by Kanye for $5,000? That's the thing with us having so little money. Because I'm seriously considering that question.
Yeah. Not life-changing in any means.
But it would be handy.
It'd be nice. It'd be great.
Stacey and I are trying to save for like a house deposit right now.
Yeah.
$5,000 won't get us there, but it'll get us closer.
Yeah.
I'd get beaten up for a house deposit in a heartbeat.
Cambo loophole. You didn't say what house.
Ah, damn it.
Gonna beat you up for the cost of a Lego house. Gotcha. Anywho, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was by The Emotional Man. Oh my God. God. You know what they've done here with their name, which is quite clever. You would read it as The Emotional Man, but they've used the E on the and emotional.
So it's the emotional.
The Emotional. It's pretty genius if you think about it.
Or lazy.
Lazy,
Yeah.
but definitely lazy. They've asked, what's something you'd love to see but won't be alive for?
First Contact would be great, wouldn't it?
First Contact would be really cool.
Except I'm terrified of First Contact, not because of the aliens, but in fact because of the point that was brought up last episode, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is that humans can't stop killing each other.
Yeah.
Yet have somehow convinced themselves that they would be peaceful towards aliens.
Yeah.
And we would definitely try and attack an advanced civilization.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, the funny thing is, one thing that I was going to say is like maybe the end of Earth's civilization. We might show up at the same time, Kimber. You're like, oh, First Contact. And then I pop up next to you and you're like, oh no. Oh boy. This is it. I actually really like this question because there's so many things that I would love to see in the future. I think technology wise, like even just more readily available space travel. I would love to see that and be part of that in future. Or even like I would love it to see a world where augmented and virtual reality become more of an everyday thing, you know? Like I feel as though those things are will happen in the future. And I just love to see how that changes the world entirely.
I would love to live to see the day that Reddit on Reddit is number 1 in the comedy charts on the iTunes podcast.
Yep.
But I don't know whether it'll be I die too early or whether it's not a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I think the latter.
Well, we'll never know because I'm dead.
I think if a genie was like, I'll teleport you to that time right now if you like. And
I just cease to exist.
You say that, yeah. You just disappear and never turn up in history ever again. Or the opposite. The genie in front of you goes, granted, clicks his fingers and nothing happens. Oh. I said granted.
What if that was a threat? Like a bit of a condition of this. It's like, you tell me what you want to see in history, and I will take you out of this time and put you into that time. But if the thing you choose never happened in history, you are out of time.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So you had to pick something that you definitely know is going to happen.
Or something that I feel like is worth gambling on as well, for example. So you could say, for example, even though we don't like the idea of this, But when humans reach immortality, science is so advanced that we could live forever. If that's something you're into, it could be worth the risk. To be like, oh, I'm in my prime, and now is the point at which I'd want to do that.
I was about to say you're a pretty good age for immortality.
Yeah.
Which is that you're still young, but you're old enough to get respect in most places. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Or maybe like when universal income is achieved, because that's actually a pretty sort of good thing. It's very possible. It's actually seen as like where the goal that we should get towards.
Yeah.
So everybody having a universal income and less poor people and whatnot. But one thing I think is interesting, and it would be very interesting to know if it popped up in existence, if that was the case. But it's something I was going to say for this is I've always thought, and I don't know why I've always thought this, but I'd love to see what the world is like if racism didn't exist.
Okay.
So if one day this is how I imagine I pop up in existence. I pop in to a hospital next to some old white guy that is on his deathbed. Yeah. He goes, damn, anybody that's colored, and then cocks it. And then it's like, hey, racism was there. Literally, it was just that last guy.
So was everyone waiting? Like, does everyone know he's the last racist? Or are you the one that's like, oh, because I popped up here, you must be the last one?
Yeah, I think it's only me. Yeah, everybody else is just like, hasn't really noticed. But I think that would be such a interesting world. And again, one of those things just to see like what slight changes are there that we maybe don't totally understand for today. Even just like a simple one as being probably less white actors in, Hollywood films or things like that. What's the difference? Or if there is this, I always think of the South Park episode where they go into the future and everybody becomes one color because there's so much, sort of interbreeding of all different cultures. They all speak the one language. They all look the one color. And it's like, would some variation of that actually happen? And that's kind of what stops.
Yeah.
That, but
also like you went to quite a, like an aesthetic version of like Hollywood actors being less white, but also there's things to consider, like I think like labor exploitation. Like it could actually drive up the price of things because a lot of people I think turn a blind eye to perhaps some countries and cultures that are super exploited for creating products.
Yeah, right. And you're like, that's not my culture, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But if it's part of if you feel connected to everything, because,
but like if you got to this future. And the guy died, and you're like, oh, great. And you go outside and you go to a store, and it's like $800 for a pair of Nike now. And you're like, oh, interesting. Turns out they were super racist.
Take me back to the past, am I right? That's a good point. Like there are just so many things that I think could be in that reality that really changed people. Like, what is language like, and is there what are countries like at that point? Because I actually think just countries in general I think facilitate racism, even like white country to white country. Like we give shit to New Zealand, and well I guess they have a lot of some Maoris and stuff over there, but or even like the UK, we give them shit sort of thing, and probably vice versa. I mean, we are the convicts of them.
Would borders be abolished?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I wonder if that is kind of, that has to be a part of a future where racism doesn't exist anymore, where there's actually no borders, and it's just like there's just land, and there's like maybe a central government, for the entire world.
And you can still, like, I think, classify regions as countries without necessarily having, when I say no borders, obviously I mean like for immigration purposes, you know what I mean? You could still be like, that is Japan. that island there.
Yeah. But anybody can live there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, I think Japan are really wanting people to come over. So it's probably like that now.
I tried last year, and then there was a pandemic.
So it's your fault.
I was 1 week away, Nelson. 1 week away.
What a bummer. Here's another one, Cambo. This is by VTFB79. Charlie was given Willy Wonka's chocolate factory 50 years ago. He should be getting ready to retire. How will he choose his successor?
I think he should do a more formal approach.
Okay.
Picking a successor through the way that he was selected is insanity.
Turns out, a lot of child death.
He was like, well, you survived.
Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah.
That's literally the prerequisite.
Yeah.
Like all the other idiots, they're dead. That one drowned in that river. That one got sucked into that machine.
It is so dangerous to work here. I just needed literally anybody that could survive. I like the idea that there's a whole bunch of like dead Oompa Loompas in the back. That he's like, literally every day, at least 30 deaths. Okay, something a little bit more formal. Actually, can I say, first of all, how old was Charlie?
I know he's like 10-ish.
So he's only 60, getting ready to retire. In 2021, I don't think so, mate.
Not for our generation.
Yeah, that's right. He's got plenty of years on him left, don't you worry. But okay. How about then maybe...
But it doesn't necessarily say he is retiring, but he probably just now starting to consider his retirement.
I never thought about that. How long was the handover period, do you think, from Willy Wonka and Charlie?
Given the absolute loose unit that Willy Wonka was, he definitely walked out that day.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he shot everyone up in that glass elevator, and we've gone into that in previous episodes.
There is a whole other story, but let's ignore that entirely.
I reckon poor Charlie Bucket was like, all right, I've got some questions about the day-to-day. He's like, none of this! And he ran out and jumped out the window, and he rolled down there, and it was very entertaining.
Yeah, everybody was clapping.
And poor Charlie's like, that provided no information.
I mean, seriously, how do I run this?
He opens a door to a pile of dead Oompa Loompas. I'm going to get the blame for this.
Yeah. And another, opens a drawer. It's just filled with, eviction notices. And you haven't paid your tax for years.
Some, finance guy being like, oh, you are seriously in debt.
So
and you
debt.
signed that contract, so now the debt does fall onto you. Yeah. Charlie's like, Wonka! I don't think he's retiring. I don't think he's handing the chocolate factory over to anyone.
Yeah.
I think the chocolate factory went out of business the next year. And this was the greatest financial scam of all time.
Yeah. 5 days later, totally shut down. I think that's probably what happened. On the off chance, he was just a kid anyway. What was it? Even if that was financially sound, I can't imagine this 10-year-old was like, don't worry, I'm going to whip this shape in this place in shape. What?
Because you would have to go to business advisors who would get their hands in the back end of Wonka.
Yeah.
And then slowly do a hostile takeover.
Yeah. Charlie is no longer managing
Bucket
the chocolate
is
factory.
out of the company within a year.
Yeah. His grandpa dies from something that could have been...
Grandpa has been laying in bed for 3 to 4 years and then suddenly gets up and is active. That's probably going to explode his heart.
Yeah. He's
let alone
dead.
The potion he drunk to make him more floaty.
The worst thing is there was surgery that they could have paid for if Charlie had have only made a profit out of the factory.
Yeah.
But he ended up just getting muscled out by other businessmen.
If
he was smart, wouldn't the best thing to do be to just instantly sell the chocolate factory? I would think that would be the best financial move ever.
There is a very interested party, if I remember correctly, in knowing the secrets of Wonka.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole premise of that movie is that Charlie was going to sell the secret, and Wonka's like, "You're not going to get it. You fail, sir."
Yeah.
And then, why does he change his mind? I forget.
I've only seen the movie. I haven't read the book. But in the movie, it's not like he pulls out the gobstopper and he's like, "Oh, you still got the gobstopper."
Okay, so he's like, he didn't do it.
But it just made no sense
You're giving the company to a young child.
Oh, it was a jawbreaker, I think.
Yeah, the everlasting gobstopper, I believe it was.
Oh.
Yeah, they wanted the secret to how it's
Yeah.
everlasting.
Oh, okay. Maybe it goes.
He's giving the company to a young child who has already expressed interest in selling out the company's secrets.
Yes.
And had changed his mind, sure. But that would he agreed on first attempt of them approaching him.
Yeah.
So if they come knocking again,
Yeah.
how long do you think that he will maintain a stronghold
Yeah.
if the first time he was pretty close to doing it?
I imagine his grandpa would have been assassinated and a note sent to Charlie and been like, "You're next unless you sell it to us for a dime."
But even then, I think if they really want it, I reckon you could sell it for quite a tidy profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Live happy. You don't have to live in that crooked house anymore.
Yeah.
You can get all your grandparents separate beds.
Yeah.
Because sleeping in one long bed is weird.
Yeah. And this is what you could do, and I think this is a great idea, is start your own chocolate store. Artisanal, obviously, on the corner of a busy intersection in 2021. That's what you should do with any of that money that you get. Anyway, how about this I've just thought of as well? To go on the other extreme version.
Yeah.
What about like a Hunger Games-esque sort of kid? Because essentially that's what happened.
I was
it was
going to
just
say
more boring.
I was going to say you pitched that, but that is
Yeah.
essentially the practice anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's just formalize it a little bit more. You know?
Yeah, that's
All
true.
the kids have spears.
Isn't it kind of fucked that no one knows what happened in that factory?
Yeah.
And would anyone believe them if they're like, he tried to drown a kid in a river of chocolate? They're like, no, he didn't.
Yeah,
No, he didn't.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the way you should do it. Okay, let's get into Today Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What's the intro to that? Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned is by Seize Opportunity. Excuse me. Today I learned Microsoft tried a 4-day work week in Japan as part of a work-life choice challenge by shutting down offices every Friday. Productivity measured by sales per employee increased by almost 40% compared to the same period the previous year.
So, do you think that with the whole working from home mandate that has happened in many places around the world,
Yeah.
that a lot of people have discovered that the 5-day office work week is a more 4-day work from home, 4.5-day work from home work week? Because I've been discovering that we're going in 2 days a week. And
Yeah.
those days are so less productive for me with all the absolute bullshit. But even just taking up more of my day. When I have to go into the office,
Yeah.
I have to wake up earlier to go to the gym at 6
hate
instead
that.
of 7.
Yeah.
And then I lose that hour, and then I'm in the traffic for the other half hour, and then the traffic back. And then, so you lose
Such a
that
pain.
part of your day. But also because that day they try and fit in extra meetings because everyone's in the office at the same
Yeah,
time.
right, yeah.
There's a specific window of my day. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's where I'll do all of my work.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is something like that. I mean, when I go into work at the moment, I feel as though I don't have enough to do almost. Like I actually have this weird sort of thing where when I'm at home, I feel like really efficient. But then when I'm in the office, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure that I have enough to do right then. But I probably do. I'm just not like...
Yeah. Is it because when you're at home, you're being so efficient that when you go into the office, you're like, it's actually more efficient for me to do this on a home day?
Yeah. Actually, I think that genuinely is it. There is some stuff that I put off because I'll be like, I'm just going to do this at home. It'll be so much easier. But yeah, I think it's so annoying. My work at the moment is very insistent on everybody coming back into the office. And to me, it just goes to show like this whole thing that Microsoft did with a 4-day work week. I imagine this is what I'm pretty certain about is they're not doing that anymore. I'm just making that assumption and I could be wrong, but I think it's because there are so many people that just like this going back to work indefinitely thing, whatever, there's a certain amount of people that are so inherent on like, not changing the way things have been for many years and being like, hey, this is the way things work. We all go to work for 5 days a week, regardless of what the statistics say.
Well, I also think this must be a case of selective statistics because any company that went, let's trial a 4-day work week and then got the results and went, productivity went up 40%.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to 5 days.
No, that's literally what's happening at the moment with companies in Australia. Like, there is so much data and evidence to support. I went to a like countrywide human resources. It was an online seminar, and there was just like presentation after presentation talking about how much more efficient people were, how much happier employees were at doing this, working from home. And literally right now, a lot of businesses, honestly, it's the dumb ones, and it's the people that are in these positions. It's like that one last racist guy on earth, right?
Right.
Like, it's just that there's some people that are out there and they're like saying, let's ignore the statistics and say this is
do you think it's generational?
I think there's a big part of that. Yeah, for sure.
Like, say you are 65 and you're the CEO of a company. So for the last 35 years, you've been working 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So this is only one iota of your experience.
Yeah.
So I understand the idea of being like, I just want to do what I've always done.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also honestly, it's a jealousy thing as well. It's like, it's that thing. I actually remember Cousin Rowan coming on to, I think, the podcast and talking to us about this once. And we were talking about raising children and how, in a previous generation or even when I was younger, I would get hit by my parents or whatnot. And that was just sort of thing that was done. And now we're saying, oh, actually, maybe you shouldn't hit your kids, right? But then there's people that have that argument that say, well, I was hit when I was a kid and there's nothing wrong with me. And it's like, but that's not the point, actually. Yeah. It's not about getting revenge because it happened to you. We've realized that actually your children will be even better than you are now emotionally in the future. So it's not that you're wrong, but and so I think it's the same with this work thing.
Yeah.
People get defensive about it.
Again, let's take the example of this 65-year-old CEO, 35 years doing Monday to Friday, whatever, and they're like, well, why does this other generation get to have a day off? I never got a day off. No, they're working the same as me.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real killer. It annoys me just some of this stuff and how so blatantly people will, companies
ignore
data that's like so evident and whatnot.
I mean, Nelson, we've got this podcast down to a 1-day work week.
Yeah.
And even then,
if I could limit this,
even then, this episode is late.
It is late too. Yeah. We said we'll always work on a Monday or a Sunday, but this week we're like, no, let's trial something else. See how our productivity is. Hasn't really gone up though, has it? Very much of a steady line. Okay, here's another one. This is by Elva Galaga 7. Today I learned quokkas don't throw their babies at predators like the rumors said. Instead, the mothers will make their kids lay writhing and hissing on the ground to attract predators while they escape. Quokkas, by the way, I don't know if they are they native to Australia or they just...
I think they're specifically native to just that
one
region.
part of Australia.
But we don't know that to be a complete fact.
Anyway, they're these actually really cute, like rat-looking
they're
animals.
Somewhere between a rat and a wombat and like a chipmunk.
And a chipmunk, and kind of like a dog, I want to say, in a weird... Just like a 2% dog.
But their claim to fame, if you will, is that you find them on a place called Rottnest Island in Western Australia. And because it's such a sparsely populated island, they had no natural predators.
Yeah.
Which means when they see humans, They don't care. Like they don't perceive you as a threat. They don't run away. So it's a very popular trend to go up and get a selfie with them because they will pose for photos.
They literally will get it on the selfie. They're like totally cool with it. They're like genuinely really cute. And if for some reason you happen to come to Australia, you should go to
I feel
Perth
like,
and Rottnest Island and check out these quokkas.
I feel like the maybe this is just my assuming. I think that the larger world became more aware of them when Chris Hemsworth took quite a few selfies with them. When he was over there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And Chris Hemsworth is also always there, happy to take a selfie.
Yeah. He has no natural predators.
Did you ever see, just quickly, there was a girl went camping in I don't even know what region of Australia, but she just happened upon a shirtless Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, really?
And so she took this photo and he's like standing there like that, insane. Like he's in his Thor shape as well. Like he's in insanely good shape. And she's like, oh my God, I went camping and I ran into shirtless Chris Hemsworth. And someone had commented being like, I don't know that much about Australia, but is this a common occurrence? And the first answer was like, oh, absolutely. You can't throw a rock without hitting a shirtless Chris Hemsworth.
If you're unlucky, you'll get another Hemsworth.
Yeah, you get like, I don't know, Luke Hemsworth or something. And you're like, look, I like Westworld and all, but not Chris.
Yeah, no Chris, mate. But I thought what was funny about this is that I think we could learn a thing or two from Quokkas.
To leave the child and run away.
I'm going to teach my child that if I'm ever burgled, they run to the front door and yell, Dad, get out, get out. I escape out the back door because statistically, I've run the data. Burglars won't attack a child. But they will attack an adult who seems like more of a threat. Yeah. I'm not though, because I'm willing to run away.
Because presumably he could shove over your child with very little effort and still continue burgling. But if he sees you, that's more of a perceived
he's
threat.
like, I'm gonna
this could stop the burgling.
I'm going to have to hit him over the head with a baseball bat or something. But if I've run out the back door while my child is doing a song and dance in front of me, I think it's pretty good. In fact, I might even just set up my kid's bed at the front door.
So I think you should call it the Quokka protocol. In which you hear some rumbling downstairs. Yeah. And you run into your kid's room. It's like, it's the Quokka protocol. You go down there and really make a scene. And I'm going to climb out this window.
Yeah. It's good. And they nod and they say, yes, Daddy. Just for you, Daddy.
Okay. Enough talky, more distracting.
Yeah. You're really taking up a lot of time here. All right, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Muckman. Faking your own death is the only way to know who would come to your funeral, and also assuring no one would come to your actual funeral.
Do you have the fear that people won't come to your funeral? I might be a cynic, but I don't care what happens after my death because it literally doesn't affect me. So obviously the idea of it is sad or whatever, but I'll never know. So in a way, I don't ever lose any sleep over it. Yeah, so I'll literally never know.
But I think you're weird.
I don't
because I think it's interesting to know. Like, I'm very aware that if I get to an old age, far less people, what I'm interested in right now is if I died today, I want to know who is the most distant person that turns up to my funeral. Okay. I'm so interested
if it's
in that.
like a high school girlfriend or something like that.
Yeah,
you're like,
huh. This is weird. I haven't spoken to you for 12 years or something, and here you are. That's bizarre. I want to check because I bet there would be quite a few people from my high school that I haven't spoken to for forever that would turn up, and I'd be like, wow, that's so interesting.
That is a great metric, I think, to measure thing on.
Yeah.
Who is the furthest and most distant person that would come to your funeral? And then imagine the flip side, like the tragedy to be like, oh my God, it's Benny from primary school. I haven't seen him since the 6th grade, and he turned up. Yeah. That's amazing. Where's Dad?
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, Benny, great.
Wow.
I'm loving Benny's here.
Can't believe he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dad.
Spent quite a lot of time with Dad over the years.
I feel like he should be here. Do you know what I want to know? At the moment, if I go down the street into the cafe, I walk in and they say, soy flat white? I say, thanks. Would they come?
I don't know if they'd come, but I wonder how long it is before they're like, where's that soy flat white guy? Yeah.
Like, did he die?
Yeah. So, they say you die twice. The day you die and the day the last person utters your name.
Yeah.
And in a way, is that not...
I've got at least an extra, 3 weeks.
Yeah. With the coffee people. To be like, that soy latte guy hasn't come in a while. And that's the last time they ever mention it, is the day you officially die.
Yeah. Okay. What I would also like to test, okay, because I like this idea of, faking my own death so that I can see who's that crazy distant person that came to my funeral. But then fake it again. Okay. Because I want to see still how far the distance goes. Because people would turn up. This person's talking about nobody would come to your actual funeral. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. People would come. I think you would need to leave it maybe a year or something. Right?
Also,
at least.
Even if you fake your death and then you come back and everyone decides to distance himself for you, you've got years to make new friends that would come to your second funeral.
Yeah. It would, and then it would be weird when they're at the funeral, right? And they're sitting next to your family. They're like, oh, it's a little bit weird that not any of his old high school buddies are here. And then my mum mutters, God, I hope it's real this time. Like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, I just hope it's real this time. But I feel, and I also think it'd be funny if you just got, if you did this a few times, but you got more and more convincing with the deaths. Like the first time, it's just like
you went missing.
Let's have a funeral for him. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, he's in a car accident, and here's the news clipping from it. Yeah. And then, oh, he was in a plane crash. We've got his dental, like how far, before they're like, no matter what, they could see somebody shoot me with a gun in the face. Like, don't believe it. Not Nelson. No, sir.
Yeah. I also love the idea that these new friends are sitting there and your parents jabbing you in the coffin. You're like, nice. It feels real. I reckon he's dead.
Good, but this could be the one, guys. This could be the one. But even just the idea of going back and forth, how many times could I fake my death before my parents don't even turn up?
I reckon you've got 3 in you.
You reckon 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually 3 is a pretty good limit, I think. Maybe 4. My mum's pretty loving.
Yeah, you've got quite a doting mother.
Yeah.
You might get 4 out of it. Yeah. Would family members drop off at different points? Would one of your brothers be 2? And he's like, nah, I'm done with Nelson. But your mum would hang on a few more funerals.
I think, I think all my family would hang on to at least 3. My immediate family. Uncles and aunties drop off at 2. And then mum, and because mum's guilted dad into it, she'd drop off at 4 or 5.
So you reckon your mum is the one that will stay the longest?
Yeah, I think so.
Would your mum be easier to convince every death?
Probably. Nah, I don't know. I feel bad about this. Yeah.
now the ethical ramifications.
My poor mum. I love my mum.
Yeah, but famously, she's not interested in this show.
That's true. Yeah. Screw you, mum. I'll die as many times as I want. I'm going to do one last one here. Yep. This is by Peralta. With deepfake becoming as convincing as it is, there could come a day where we may be able to choose the actors we want to see in movies.
I mean, the day is kind of coming, slightly here, because they have resurrected actors through things like this. It's not quite
yeah.
deep fake necessarily, though. Slight spoiler warning for The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There are people that show up in The Mandalorian that kind of appear like they did in old Star Wars films.
Yeah, yeah.
And that used a lot of the underlying algorithm and technique of deepfake to do.
Right.
But Star Wars, let's keep it in the Star Wars family. They made the movie Rogue One.
Yeah.
And they needed a certain character played by Peter Cushing, who died in the early 80s, I think.
Yeah.
So they just put him back in it.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird when it becomes in that sort of ethical, like unethical sort of line there. Like, because obviously Paul Walker, I know, is another one. What's his face? Heath Ledger.
Yep.
They did for The Extraordinary something. What was that movie that he was doing?
Yeah, no, though, to be fair,
he did most of that, I think.
Yeah, to be fair, they didn't actually replace him with like digital Heath Ledger. They recast the actors to play his role. So
I thought that they did do
the
digital
conceit
stuff.
of that movie is every time he goes through a certain mirror, he's in a new world. So they recut it to be every time he goes through that, because he had filmed everything outside of the mirror.
Yeah.
Every time he goes through the mirror, he's a different actor.
Right.
They didn't actually use.
Okay,
Heath
my
Ledgers in
bad.
that.
I thought they actually did do some digital stuff.
It happens fairly. Gladiator. Laurence Olivier's in Gladiator, and he died half of the other film, and a lot of his latter half is like reused footage that they have like CGI'd onto another person's body.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's happening already. There was some controversy, and I actually haven't heard an update of this since, so I think it might be dead. But a movie cast James Dean recently.
Right.
It was like a war movie that was coming out, and they cast James Dean. And they were like, well, we're just going to recreate James Dean. We think we can recreate his voice artificially. We can recreate. And there was a big backlash. People were like, oh, don't think that's cool.
Yeah, it's weird to cast somebody as they've already passed. It's like if they pass out
also,
like during, then...
Or that doesn't have any association with that thing. Like Peter Cushing was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, well, we want him to be in this small role. Let's recreate him. It's almost a tribute to be like, we don't want to recast that role. We love him so much.
Yeah.
But advertising has done this quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
In the 2000s, I believe, they digitally resurrected Bruce Lee, I believe, to sell Snickers bars.
Oh, okay.
Which is something I don't think Bruce Lee would have advertised. He is like... physical peak of fitness, like you've seen that guy shredded.
That's why I eat so many Snickers, Kevin.
And two, he's flogging a product. You know what I mean? It's not even for entertainment value. It's not like, oh, we've got one last great Bruce Lee movie out of this.
Yeah.
They're literally selling a product with his image.
But do you think, though, it was like the family were, like maybe he didn't...
Yeah, like the estate.
Yeah. But maybe it was like, oh, he actually ended up having a lot of debt before he died. It's like, I don't know, I'm just making shit up. And so it's like, Snickers is like, we can help you out of this jam, family. All we need is the rights to use,
Well, Bruce Lee famously died at a movie set. His son Brandon Lee also died on a movie set, and the movie had to be completed with like body doubles and stuff for Brandon Lee as well. He was in The Crow. He died during the making of The Crow.
Oh, wow.
And there's a whole section towards the end of The Crow where he's in shadow a lot.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. But I think what this is sort of saying as well, right? I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But let's say this as a hypothetical. Is you, as an individual, could choose the actors that you want to see in the movie.
Yeah, but there must be legality around that. Like...
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me say if when you sign onto a Marvel movie now, you sign away your likeness.
Yeah.
So it's like Chris Evans, we actually have the right to your likeness as Captain America.
Yeah.
And we control that. So they could be like, you know what? He's Captain America again.
Yeah.
Too bad, Chris Evans, if you want to walk away. We're going to put you as Captain America again completely digitally.
Yeah.
And he probably wouldn't have much legal recourse. But if you and I are making
he would still get paid for it for sure.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But yeah.
Like he probably couldn't be like, oh, I don't want to be in another Captain America movie.
Yeah.
They're like, too bad.
Remember that thing you signed?
Yeah.
With blood?
But what I'm saying is if we're making like a little indie student film and we're like, chuck Margot Robbie in that.
Yeah.
Then we legally probably don't have the right to likeness.
That'd be awesome, though. Let's do it, Cambo. All I'm saying is, who would you put in as Neo from The Matrix, if you could?
Well, originally Neo was cast as Will Smith.
Oh yeah. I think I heard that.
So I
could see that happening.
I host
too.
a whole other podcast about the sliding door scenario of what if movies.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see a Will Smith Neo. I think the energy of Neo would be very different.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith has quite an energetic, charming thing.
There'd be more one-liners for sure.
And if you were to say, oh, well, Keanu Reeves is playing a bit of computer programming here, you'd be like, well, absolutely.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. That's right. Cool. Could happen, Camber. One day
One day.
we'll get Will Smith. Anyway, let's move into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast, normally a worse, really shitty podcast, and do it ourselves.
Oh, Nelson. What an interesting situation we've found ourselves in with this podnapping. Here's the thing. We're in the segment podnapping, but I'm going to have to integrate it with another segment that we've never used before, but have long considered from episode 1, and we've never had to use it before.
Yeah.
It's a segment that we call We Must Insist That You Cease and Desist.
Yeah.
In which we put out a warning, a cease and desist warning to another podcast.
We had that intro, remember?
Yeah.
You must insist, we must insist to cease and desist. Yeah.
That was the theme. That was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
You would think we would have edited out the mistake, but we're a warts and all show. We don't edit.
Yeah.
But it has come to our attention, Nelson, that a podcast has appeared on podcasting platforms, quite legitimate. I've got it here on Spotify.
Do you know what annoys me? It was so hard for us to get on Spotify.
It took so long.
We jumped through hoops.
And it bears striking similarities to our podcast.
Yep.
Our podcast, Reddit on Reddit.
Yep.
We've discovered there's another podcast called Breadit on Reddit.
Sounds stupid.
And hosted by what appears to be two of our more loyal listeners. In fact, one of them, a coveted fuckhead podcast listener.
Oh my God, I totally forgot that. Oh, well, that title's obviously been stripped.
Look, definitely it's in review. It's definitely in review. Because that
we actually haven't even got to the email that she officially requests. We'll get to that, I suppose.
Or will we?
Or will we? Or we'll just skip over
The
it.
point is, this podcast has come up, Reddit on Reddit. Now, a couple of things. A lot of the segments are very, very similar. A lot of the, let's say the show structure is very, very similar.
Yeah.
And distinctly remembering pitching this as an idea anyway.
Yeah.
In which would make it our intellectual property.
Well, we also have a rule, don't steal our ideas.
That's obviously
So-
rule number 1.
Rule number 1.
So if this is listeners from the show,
Yeah.
doubly insulting. Here's the thing. I'm going to podnap them.
Yeah, cool.
Here's one thing. This is a podcast created by Hallie and Dory.
Yeah.
Two suspected listeners of this show that we haven't confirmed they are the Hallie and Dory that write into this
It
show.
could be some doppelgangers or whatever.
Who have legitimately created a podcast, and they have the email readitpodcast@gmail.com that is the bread-related spin-off of this show. All the posts are about bread.
Yeah, genius.
And they all sourced from Reddit.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They, as their theme song, play our theme song through the phone speaker.
Yeah. And sped up, I think.
I'm thinking I play their theme through my phone into this speaker as the theme for this particular version. Yes.
Okay.
So, how bad do you think this is going to sound?
It's going to be so bad.
All right. This is going to be the official theme for the podnapping of Reddit on Reddit. Oh boy. It's
Just a total mess.
It's just so garbled at this point. So, what I've done,
Yes.
and I don't want to point fingers, but I suspect this is what they've also done.
Yeah.
I used the search function on Reddit and
Yeah.
just typed the word bread
Okay, cool.
and got 2 posts here
Yeah.
about bread. So, First one here is by, it's in the subreddit Shitty Food Porn.
Oh, okay.
And it's by user Invincible Speed.
Oh.
And it says, my sibling keeps microwaving a single slice of cheese onto bread for his meals. Please help. He's not eaten anything else in days, and they've attached this photo.
Yeah. Looks delicious. This is genius.
What do you think of the idea? I wouldn't call it a gourmet meal.
Here's the thing that the only one thing I'm disappointed in with this kit is that I've actually done this before, but you need to toast the bread first.
Well, I think
then you put it in the microwave.
This is part of the problem is cheese on toast. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, 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 yum. Yeah.
But this is literally heated bread with cheese.
Heated bread is weirder.
Because heated bread, surely, like, floppy and soggy.
Yeah.
The advantage of the toasting is the crispness of the bread.
I know, yeah. But you can, that's what I'm saying. You can, if you do those two things separately, if you toast it and then put it in a microwave, and if you do it, quickly, so long as you're not like microwaving it for forever, it very similarly resembles a normal like toasted.
I think I get the feeling that this particular brother in question is like just a fast and loose kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's like, don't have time to toast, mate.
Yeah,
I love melted bread. I love melted cheese.
Yeah,
whack in the microwave. I don't need crispy toast. I want warm bread, bit of cheese. And that extra step, I think, of toasting it and then microwaving it would be unthinkable.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing this for the acclaim of gourmet food. I'm doing this for the deliciousness of melted cheese on bread.
I mean, at this stage, do you even really need to heat it up? Whack a bit of cheese on bread.
Cheese on bread is great.
Whack that and you go, bloody delicious.
Is it easier to... I guess it's quicker. I was going to say, is it easier to just cheese on bread on a grill? But I think a grill has... You got to warm it up.
Yeah, it's too long.
It takes a few minutes. You could probably zap that for 45 seconds in the microwave.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah.
That's a good one. If I could just live off cheese and bread, I probably would. I'm lactose intolerant, Ken, but I still would.
But would you get sick of cheese on bread?
There's so many different types of cheese. So many. And so many different types of bread. You cannot go wrong with cheese and bread. It's a delicious meal.
Okay, so you're convinced that you could live off cheese and bread for the foreseeable future?
I mean, not in a healthy my body would break down and die, but otherwise.
I should rephrase it, because you could. You could live off cheese and bread, but would you want to live off cheese and bread?
No, I think the opposite is true. I want to live off cheese and bread. But could I?
Yeah,
no.
I got another one here, Nelson.
Yep.
This is in r/WTF.
Oh, okay.
And it's by aggravating ad 8504. And it's a picture, which I'll show you in a moment. Okay. It said, a sandwich called the Fool's Gold Loaf contains 1 whole jar of grape jelly / jam, 1 whole jar of peanut butter, and 1 pound of fried bacon inside a hollowed out loaf of bread. It has 8,000 calories.
That to me sounds disgusting. And you're now showing me this picture, and I still think it sounds and looks disgusting. That does not... Okay, there's something about... It's just too much of all those things. I'm sure, like, hey, a bit of... I mean, I in Australia, we don't really do the peanut butter and jelly type thing. I think, for one, it's because our jam is different than jelly normally. It's sort of the same thing. It's like spreadable, fruit concentrate, something or other. But I think it is actually different. Like jelly, I think comes from the juice, where ours is like mushed up and preserved fruit. So I think that's why maybe it's never been a thing in Australia, because our sort of equivalent doesn't really... I would say
also, as a cultural thing, Americans much more than us or Europe enjoy the salty-sweet combination. Like Reese's peanut butter cups are an example of that. They're salty and sweet at the same time. A lot of their treats are kind of salty and sweet at the same time, which this falls into jelly and peanut butter, salty and sweet at the same time.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll give you absolutely no points if you can tell me in which country the Fool's Gold Loaf was created.
Oh. America.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver, Colorado. That was created.
Yeah.
Here's my question about the Fool's Gold loaf.
Yeah.
It looks disgusting.
Yeah.
And 8,000 calories is an absolute
That is so
nightmare.
much.
But if someone offered you a bit, would you try it?
Yeah, I'd try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in Graceland, because Elvis used to eat this enormous, I don't think it was this particular thing, but not dissimilar.
It's close, right?
It was
Yeah.
like an entire loaf sandwich kind of thing that he used
Right,
to eat.
yeah.
And he also used to enjoy deep fried peanut butter and like jelly and
I thought he had bacon on that too.
And
Maybe it's banana.
sandwiches as like a snack.
Right, banana,
and they
yeah.
sell them in the cafe at Graceland.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, oh, I definitely just have to try one. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And it felt like a heart attack from the moment it hit my lips to the moment it hit my stomach.
Yeah.
I felt it go down every inch of my body into my
Yeah.
stomach.
It's so...
So the fact that he died on the toilet
yeah.
absolutely
was
makes sense.
Very overweight.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Totally makes sense. Yeah, peanut butter itself is you don't think it's that unhealthy, but damn, there's a lot of calories in peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like a nut. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, try and liquidize a nut and try that and
Yeah.
see how different it tastes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spread a bit of butter, mix a bit of butter in it maybe. It's not going to taste like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Add several teaspoons of sugar and preservatives and all kinds of fats. And
Yeah.
then you're starting to get
Well, the
something.
fats come in with the nuts.
Yeah,
but
with the
yeah.
nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon you could still add saturated fat to that.
Well, I hope they do. That's why it tastes so delicious.
Anyway, Nelson,
Yeah.
they're my two breaded on Reddits.
Oh.
Quick review. Do you think this show has legs?
I think as we always do in Podnapping, we do other podcasts better.
Yeah.
So I think if we were to do Reddit on Reddit, then we would actually
Make it a success.
make it a success.
yeah, right.
But as our saying goes, or our segment goes, we must insist you cease and desist. So there's that.
Here's what I would suggest. A couple of things. But don't subscribe to them, obviously.
Don't you dare.
Any accolades that you may want to bestow upon them,
Yeah.
send our way.
Yeah.
Because I think the acorn of the tree that this has grown came from us.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn straight.
This is a personal message just to Dory.
Yeah.
Your application is still pending.
Thin ice.
Hasn't.
Nice,
We've
buddy.
received your application. You're approved. Dory,
Yeah. Well, actually, Hasm did write into them.
he did write into them. Interesting. Okay, at this point, we have not officially...
You're both under review.
We have not officially titled anyone a fuckhead podcast. There are two potentials.
Yeah.
And I also want to stress we've had a lot of requests for other people to become fuckhead podcasters.
Yeah.
I can't stress how rare this will be.
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to think that if anyone asks for it,
Yeah.
they are ineligible.
That is actually a great rule. I kind of like that as a rule.
This is a rarity
Yeah.
to us to bestow anyone with the crown of fuckhead podcast listener.
Do you think anybody asks the Queen to be knighted?
Yeah.
No, sir.
A great analogy. Great analogy. So
Would be funny if that's how it
we're
works.
not going to disqualify people that have asked already because you weren't to know better. But
If you do,
ooh, yeah,
if you do in
I
future,
just want to make that clear.
do you know what we could do also as retaliation? Is we could start the Reddit on Reddit podcast, but release an extra episode and always be one episode to be the longest running sort of. Yeah.
I will say this about Reddit on Reddit. I love the audacity that they titled episode 1 episode 0001.
Yeah.
Which obviously
They've got far more longevity than we do.
Once we get to 999, we're out of here, baby.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
What are we going to do? Add an extra number? I don't think so.
I don't think iTunes will allow it.
Yeah. All right. But now we can get into the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Yes, got one here from a potential fuckhead podcast listener, still in review.
Still in review.
Says, gentlemen, g'day you. Oh, should I do this extra Australian?
Yeah, do it.
G'day, yobbos. What's the John Dort? Now, I believe he may have meant to say John Dory.
Right.
What's the John Dory?
Do you know what? I was almost like, oh crap, is that an Australian saying that I don't know? John Dort?
Yes. What's the John? I'll correct it for this. What's the John Dory? Just wanted to say, Just wanted to appreciate the nickname. Good on you, mate. Zimbo, which is the Australianized version of Hazem.
Yeah.
He also continues.
Yeah.
P.S. I weirdly found Bombs Away to be great, even though the thought of eating on a podcast medium would be bad. As an AMA, what is your favorite snack? I should also specify what's the John Dory is rhyming slang for what's the story, as in what's going on.
Yes.
Which is also, I will say, is a phrase that I think people think Australians say, but I've never heard anyone say.
No, it
like throw another shrimp on the barbie. I've never heard anyone say it in my entire life.
Yeah. I mean, that's very specific. Admittedly, I don't think I've ever been around somebody cooking shrimps on a barbie to begin with.
Well, especially because we call them
where they might.
One, we call them prawns.
Yeah.
And two, we don't often barbecue them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It came from it wasn't it like a almost thieving language? No. What?
Rhyming slang is Cockney, and it's often called Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah,
and a lot of the time it was to if the cops were listening, they wouldn't know what you're talking about.
You could be like, meet you by the apples and pears, which would be the stairs.
Let's do that snobbery.
Yeah,
with these chuns that we have.
Yeah.
And rock over the tank. Yeah, knock over the bank.
Yeah. Good.
And the cops would be like, that's all in order.
Yeah. That sounds like normal conversation, if you ask me. I like how you made up the word chuns.
Because the panic in my brain when I was coming up with rhyming words, I'm like, guns.
Puns would be fine.
Puns would be fine.
But chuns. Yeah. It's a new word.
Yeah. Runs. There's a lot of words that rhyme with guns.
Yeah.
in the panicked moment, I could not think of a single one.
I like it. Yeah. I like it.
Buns.
I would have done so many.
Let's do a snobbery with these buns. And what was my knock over the bank?
Rock over the
tank.
Yeah. Rock over the tank.
Do a snobbery with the buns and rock over the tank.
Yeah. Get back.
The cops won't know what. They won't know what's going on.
Oh my God. What's your favorite snack? Okay. This is a tough question. Here's what I'd like to tell you. It's I feel like related to this is on my drive over here, I ate an entire packet of rice crackers.
Ooh.
Is that my favorite snack? No, but I'll eat a fucking entire packet.
I think that favorite snack kind of like goes in and out of phases. So I not even necessarily my favorite. I'll tell the things that I am eating, like snacking on most commonly at the moment.
Yeah.
Little rice cakes. Mm-hmm. There's little rice cakes you can buy here. And they've just got a little bit of like dark chocolate on the back. Yeah. Love them. Mm-hmm. And grapes.
Oh, grapes.
I'm just going through a grape thing at the moment.
Grapes
Put a little bowl of grapes next to my work desk. Yum.
Yeah, yum. That's a good one. I am. I'm much more of a savory person. Mm-hmm. So mine is cheese on bread whacked out in the microwave. Love it.
And the other one is that jelly, the fool's gold loaf.
Yeah. Lots of peanut butter, lots of jelly. Actually, peanut butter is one. I will quite often just get one slice of bread out of the packet and then put a bit of peanut butter on, roll that up, eat that.
Can I revolutionize?
Yeah.
One slice of bread, peanut butter, whack that in the microwave.
Whack that right? Oh my God. No, well, sometimes I'll toast the bread and then when you whack the peanut butter on, melts a little bit. But if I feel like you were to do that to the extreme, it would just melt everywhere. That'd be gross. Anyway, but also I really like, I don't buy them that much because they're really expensive, but I really like pistachio nuts. God damn, I could have a gazillion of those in a sitting. But also, and you'll know this, Cambo, it comes around in seasons. Another nut, but I love chestnuts.
You do love chestnuts.
I love chestnuts. They're so great, but they're only like an autumn-ish. They last. They're around for a few months, like maybe half a year or something, or maybe not quite. But yeah, so I look forward to that. And any day now, chestnuts should be. In fact, they're already in the stores, I think. So Be getting my...
Perhaps in the coming weeks, if you note an uptick in Nelson's happiness, maybe he's eating chestnuts.
Full chestnuts. That's it. Here's another one. We've got, hey, Nelson. Oh, okay. Oh, boy. Here we go. First, I'd like to say, this is from Vamp. Mm-hmm. Vamp wrote like 5 emails. And I would say 3 of the 5 were very long. So I've done a bit of creative.
It's an abridged version.
This is the abridged version. What I'm going to read you, you will get the gist of all 5 emails.
Yeah. This makes a lot of sense because I ducked in and out of the email during the week.
Yeah.
And I did see there was a couple from Vamp. And I saw this email pasted in the show notes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make heads nor tails of it.
Yeah.
And now knowing that perhaps it's several emails pasted together would make sense. And it did actually tell me to stop reading. And Scouts Honor, I did. I stopped reading.
Okay, that's good. Oh, yeah, actually, maybe I shouldn't have pasted that bit in because that's not relevant anymore, I don't think. Anyway.
It's not part of the journey.
Hey, Nelson. Canberra, I would like to respectfully request that you skip to the money bag emoji further down the page. It's not there anymore, Canberra.
Yeah. I searched for the money bag emoji. This is why I couldn't make heads or tails of it. I searched for the money bag emoji and found none.
I don't know where to start.
And I actually thought, I'm going to leave this to Nelson.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you've left it there. Good. Nelson and I need to talk about your shenanigans. Okay, Nelson, here's a list of things Cambo's been up to in the past month. Sources are below the signature for the PSs. Just so you know, Vamp, don't even go to the trouble. Just not one of those sources I clicked on or been interested in, to be honest. Anyway, here we go. He released more episodes of his Money Talks podcast. Sometimes more than one episode a day. Sure.
I did look up my Money Talks podcast.
Did you really? Yeah.
And I suspect I lean quite right.
Oh, really? Okay.
I must admit I haven't listened to an episode. But some of the episode titles I was like, interesting.
Maybe,
I don't know if I agree with that title.
That's interesting. He died. You may be recording the podcast with a member of the undead. I guess it's time to find that new podcast host. May I volunteer as him?
Maybe I faked my death.
Maybe you faked your death.
You know what, Nelson? You weren't at my funeral.
I didn't want to go. I had someone on. What would be the excuse that you would accept that I couldn't go to your funeral? What if on that day I was able to finally buy a PlayStation 5?
I will make a pledge with you that if I don't have to make an excuse for not going to your funeral, you don't have to make an excuse for not going to my funeral. Okay. And we will never ask each other.
All right.
We'll just accept that they had something on.
Yeah. And can we also extend that to our families, like in our wills and stuff? Be like, Cambo wanted everybody to know to not ask Nelson why he's not here.
I thought you were suggesting that if our families didn't show up, and I was going to be like, no, hard line on my family.
No, yeah. No, just so, because I don't want to be questioned about why I wasn't at your
My
funeral.
mum can't come up to you sobbing, being like, where were you?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay. He has continued to play sports ball. Welcome back, Cambo. This is where the emoji would have been. Welcome back, Amber. Nelson, now's your chance to find out if he's a zombie. Hey, you a zombie?
Yep.
Yeah. Now then, here's the currency conversion requested. Do we request Cambo? No idea.
Oh, this is testing our memory.
You asked for ECD in AUD.
Maybe.
You did not provide a number of ECD you would like me to convert. I will ignore it for this once, but next time I'll require an amount. 1 EUD is equal to around 0.47 AUD. You said ECD, and then you changed it to the euro.
All right, Vamp.
But originally
it was
need you to $1 Caribbean dollar, and then you've gone to the euro, right?
But did we ask for that?
No.
Okay.
In his one sentence, he screwed up. Oh, my God.
We're going to need some recalculations here.
Oh, boy. This is not good. For your fucking podcast listener status, let me tell you.
We now need to know, because of this error, what is 1 ECD to 1 EUD to 1 AUD, including prices of changing the currencies.
Wait, EUD isn't even euro, right? It's what's the shortcut for euro? I mean like
EUR?
Oh, it's just euro, I think. I don't think they shorten it because it's only one extra letter.
That's prestige.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, I think he's just misspelled it here, but I will not accept that. Anyway, I was writing this when I came across a sheet of paper. I don't know what episode this paper was for. Here's a transcript with guesses as to what I think each note means. You two are free to interpret as well. Dollar is greater than dollar. Get value of Nelson's time to convert podcast into currency. How much editing time? ?
Oh,
okay.
no.
He said, I believe this was about was that Nelson referred to the podcast as a currency. If I can get an estimate of the amount of time Nelson spends driving and recording the podcast each week and an estimate of what he thinks his time is worth, I can calculate how much the people who listen to your podcasts owe Nelson. I suspect I put the editing time part in quotation marks because I knew it was a stupid question. The answer is none. What do you reckon my time's worth?
To me or?
Well, what do you reckon your time's worth
Oh,
on this podcast?
my time. And
If we were charging for this.
I must say, if there were editing to be done, that would actually, I think, fall on me.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
My time, pretty valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we do this out of the goodness of our heart and that curse.
Yeah, and that curse.
Would you do an episode, $100 per episode? Would you do it?
No. Here's why. Because I want this to replace my full-time job.
Oh, right. Okay.
I would need like
minimum
$60,000 a year.
I was going to say
minimum.
Oh, well, I was going to say minimum like 45, and then you can supplement the rest with like.
Okay.
Would you take 45 a year for this,
45,
knowing you would have to supplement some of your income with
bit.
maybe some gig work or something? You can host trivia nights or something down at a local pub.
I don't even know if I want to supplement with anything else.
Because I don't think this should be an ideal circumstance. Because I don't think that's realistic necessarily for beginning full-time creatives.
Yeah. It's true. You know what? $10,000 an episode. Changed my mind entirely. I'm very rich from this. Okay. Fact check. Elon did not create flamethrowers. He created not a flamethrowers. Yes, I get it. I feel like I'm being a bit mean to Vamp.
They've taken the absolute effort to write several emails.
Yeah. Fact check. This one's more against you.
Okay.
Cambo. Elon's money actually comes from his startup, Zip2. His father did own emerald mines in South Africa, but Elon and his siblings were estranged from their father due to a divorce. Elon's money comes from selling startups, not emeralds. And then he explains, well, I guess that speaks for itself. I'm guessing based on the Elon stuff. This was from episode 229, so not that long ago. Was it? Just a week plus 2 more weeks it took you to read this. Probably. What are we up to? 34?
Even I've lost track at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I assumed that, he got some money from that.
From the old diamond mines.
Yeah, but maybe if he didn't. In that case, he is an angel, right? I can't remember what we were talking about.
Yeah, he said nothing else wrong.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Fact check. The CIA works only internationally. The FBI works only within the US. Oh, yeah, he said, I guess you compared something to the CIA, FBI, and you messed up. Like he's not even sure. We were talking about ASIO, which I said was like the CIA, but that's not true because we don't work internationally, so it's only a bit more similar to the FBI, I guess. Anyway, well, that's it for all these emails. He said for this email, but I edited. Vamp, demigod, fuckhead, podcast listener, potential fuckhead podcast listener. I'd take that out next time. Cambo Fox informant, United States of Cambo correspondent, currency conversion correspondent, Reddit on Reddit, podcast correspondence incorporated. Thank you for writing in, Vamp and Hasm or Zimbo. if you'd like to read it into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast.
Now, often we like to try and get people to rate the show 5 stars.
Yeah.
Because it helps with our analytics.
Yeah.
It's actually how we get discovered. Like, it helps us display. And we generally say, hey, write whatever review you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
Just give us 5 stars.
Give 5 stars.
People have reviewed places they've not enjoyed going. They've told our friend Andrew to shave his head.
Yep.
So if you have praise for the Breaded on Reddit podcast, rate us 5 stars. Leave us a review of Breaded on Reddit.
Because you can't leave a review on Spotify specifically.
Yeah.
So you have to use it on like the Apple Store or anywhere our podcast is at.
You can
5
claim,
stars.
You can claim Breaded on Reddit is much better than Reddit on Reddit. Just do it in a 5-star review.
Do it in a 5-star review. Yeah, for us. But that's it. So thanks for listening, and we will read you later.